Valladolid, and their match with rather mysteriously is apparently set to play on the right side of midfield. Vaquero is missing again through injury, and Johan Cruyff has named Lucendo in his starting lineup. And this is a real surprise. Lucendo is an amateur player from Barcelona Athletic, a player we don't honestly know too much about. Although they've lost Fernando Hierro to Real Madrid, much of the Valladolid side is unchanged from last season. The three Yugoslavs are still there, Ravnic in goal, Milius at the back and Jankovic up front. And they have a Yugoslav coach now too, in former European Golden Boot Award winner from the 70s, Josip Skoblar. And the referee for tonight's game, Rio Velasquez. That's the scene then for this opening match in the new Spanish League season. On Screen Sport, it's Valladolid against Barcelona. So it's Valladolid then to kick off in the lighter shirts, attacking the goal to our left in the first half. And away then goes the new season. Crowd here of around 16,000, I would think, in the stadium. And I wonder just how strong a challenge we're going to see then from Barcelona for the title this season. This is Serna. They failed really to keep pace with Real Madrid. A succession of goalless draws, and indeed one of the draws without a goal was against Valladolid. Goalless draws, in fact, with them last season. And it was during that spell that Barcelona rather lost their way and allowed Real Madrid to take a firm grip on the championship. Moreno for a throw to Barcelona. The Brazilian. Now then to Serna, Spanish international. Aloisio, who was such a stalwart at the back in the European Cup Winners' Cup winning side in Bern. And here's Koeman. First positive touch for Barcelona. Trying to get Laudrup on his way. Laudrup wearing the number 10 shirt. Ravnic here, the goalkeeper for Valladolid, former Yugoslavian international. And I was saying earlier, very much a Yugoslavian influence in the Valladolid side with our Yugoslavian coach, Josip Skoblar, who got that Golden Boot Award that I mentioned in 1971 when he was playing for Marseille. Ravnic here was a very consistent figure for Valladolid last season. Played in 37 of their 38 games and conceded just 30 goals. So it's a formidable barrier that he poses here against Barcelona. Starting their season away from home. And Valladolid with an impressive home record last season. Free kick to Valladolid. This is their longest serving player, Luis Minguella. Very experienced midfield player. Lemos. Hejna and Jankovic, Yugoslav, and the two front players. Jankovic was penalised then. Foul on Koeman. That has made Koeman a very rich man, but a lot will be expected of him too. Here's Serna now for Koeman. Begirstein was the Barcelona player trying to make an impression then. Another of Barcelona's Spanish internationals, Begirstein, number 11. Useful cross in, and Ravnic making rather a meal of it, managing to palm the ball away, but not all that effectively. Lemos. Very dramatic roll. And the referee awarding the yellow card for the tackle. It did appear that Jankovic was overreacting a little. Surely can't have hurt him that much. It was a late challenge by Cerner, and a very rugged one. Jankovic rolling across the turf. Jankovic, formerly with Hajduk Split, uncapped by Yugoslavia, but he's been close now for a while, and was the leading goal scorer for Valladolid last season, albeit with just 8 goals. But he is a difficult man to contain up front. A little sporting shake of the hands then from the 2 players concerned, Cerner, who's been booked, and Jankovic. Jankovic again here, seems to have recovered. And the ball safely through to Zubizarreta. Very much the #1 goalkeeper for Spain as well as Barcelona. Aloisio. Roberto. Early strike from him. 5 minutes into the first half. Roberto rather ambitiously shooting over the bar. Ravnic here has been capped 6 times by Yugoslavia. The last occasion when England won 4-1 in a European Championship decider in Belgrade, and Ravnic went off at half-time, not to be seen again, which is rather a pity. He'd had to go off with concussion, but he hasn't featured in the national team since. Aloisio, one of the markers at the back with Cerner there. And Julio Alberto, back in the Barcelona team, had a lot of injuries in the past, Julio Alberto. Easily broken up. Away come Barcelona. Salinas and Laudrup in the 2 front players. And the free kick has been given. So an early chance here then for Barcelona. So anxious to get off to a winning start in the Spanish League. Roberto couldn't get in though, and safely away by Valladolid. Here's Koeman, failing to find his new teammate Laudrup. Flag was up anyway for offside. Moreno is the #4 here for Valladolid. Roberto with the header. Moreno. Scuffle going on off the ball then. Here's Koeman. Roberto's done well. Yes, Salinas up in support and Laudrup too. Well, he's forced the corner. It could have been far more serious for Valladolid. Here's the corner. Valladolid, in fact, conceded only 9 goals at home in the league last season, which gives you a measure of how strong they are on their own ground. Wins from their 19 home games. Valladolid certainly not overawed by the Barcelona opposition so far. 10 minutes gone in the first half. It's Fonseca who was pulled down. No goals at this stage. Free kick to Valladolid, taken by Moreno. Lemos. Nguela is the anchor man in midfield. Played in by Moreno, finding Lemos, a Celta Vigo player. The shot hit well wide. After a promising start to the move. Koeman now then for Barcelona. Little seen so far of Michael Laudrup, Gary Lineker's replacement up front. Aloisio. This is Cernap. Mia. Koeman beaten. Kovac is away here. By Aloisio. Barcelona quickly pulling defenders back and successfully bringing the ball away. Laudrup, a disappointing time in Italy. So much promise in his early days, Michael Laudrup. Indeed, he was Danish Footballer of the Year at the age of 18. Here's Laudrup now. He has exceptional pace. No chance to show it here. The other front player, along with Jankovic in the Valladolid side. This is Aloisio, the Brazilian. Lucindo. Chance developing. Laudrup didn't really get into his stride then. That will go down. Certainly a half chance, if not more, to Michael Laudrup. A little bit of early nerve showing that perhaps from the Danish international. Looking to impress in his first game. League game for Barcelona, but it's Jankovic certainly impressed then. Lovely turn of pace. Really exposed some defensive frailty then. Aloisio and Serna between them couldn't get in. An effective challenge, and the ball clipping the top of the bar. So, warning there, the threat posed up front by Jankovic. Aloisio now for Barcelona. They aren't looking too comfortable at this stage. Offside against Salinas. I think they're over on the far side. Salinas, leading goal scorer for Barcelona with 20 goals last season. He was third in the Spanish league list, behind Baltazar and Sanchez. Baltazar with 35 goals for Atletico Madrid. Free kick to Valladolid. Taken by Moreno. Salinas couldn't find Laudrup. They'll be aware of the acceleration that Laudrup possesses, and you really can't allow him any room to show that burst of speed that he has. There have been signs in recent internationals that Laudrup has been regaining his form. 4 goals in his last 4 games for Denmark. And of course, his brother Brian is now making a name for himself too in the international side. The Danes regrouped, they've rebuilt, and they're looking as if they're going to pose a formidable challenge if they do make it on to Italy next year in the World Cup finals. Aloisio from Brazil, and he'll have been intrigued by the events from Rio. Brazil's match with Chile had to be abandoned, which has left in jeopardy Brazil's place in the finals. Aloisio hasn't featured in the current Brazilian side, but he did play in the Olympics in Seoul. Lucendo leaving the free kick for Koeman. Is at full stretch here, and he can't hold off Jankovic, and he scored. Aloisio was struggling, and Jankovic taking full advantage. What an impact he's made in the first quarter of an hour of this game. He had the strength to hold off Aloisio. Zubizarreta couldn't keep out the shot. See the Brazilian holding him back. Jankovic persevered, and beyond Zubizarreta for the opening goal of the game. Jelko Jankovic makes it 1-0 to Valladolid, and Barcelona are in trouble. They come here with high expectations, hoping for a winning start, but now they've got to come from behind. Excellent opening then for Valladolid. 6th in the Spanish league last season, hoping to improve on that in the current campaign. Who's to say they won't? Salinas getting involved with Ayaza. Free kick to Barcelona. Will be looking to retaliate quickly after being stunned by the first goal of the game, scored by Jankovic. Ball just kept in play. Valladolid playing with a lot of confidence, and their lead certainly not undeserved. Moreno looks a composed figure at the back. To the rescue this time. Koeman. Now for Laudrup. So far, Valladolid dealing rather competently with anything that Barcelona could muster. Barcelona haven't really found any kind of rhythm. They've been disappointing in pre-season matches by all accounts. And they've rather continued in that vein so far. A goal down here to Valladolid, the home side, in the José Zarela Stadium. Here's Koeman. Aloisio, a lot of time to set something going now for Barcelona. Another free kick. Foul by Minguela. We've had ample demonstrations in the past of the power of Koeman shooting, but he is a long, long way out here. But he really does pack a venomous shot. Took a deflection, safely through to Ravnic. Koeman. Seems to have a role in front of the back players, Koeman, as we warned he would have. His reputation, of course, as a defender for PSV Eindhoven and for that marvellous Dutch team that won the European Championship. Barcelona will be hoping that Koeman can make the same kind of impression in Spain that Van Basten, Gullit and Rijkaard have made in Italy for AC Milan, the new European champions. No foul. Payne clearly thought there should have been. Throw to Barcelona. Aloisio. They're struggling to get their game together in this first half, their first game. Barcelona. Aloisio to Koeman. Laudrup having to come deep to collect. Free kick. Foul on Lucendo. Lucendo very much a surprise inclusion in the Barcelona side. Roberto. Chested it down delightfully and not all that far away, with Ravnic though covering the near post. Lucendo, as I was saying, included in the Barcelona side. They've left out Eusebio, a Spanish international. We have Solé, who was available too. One or two other more familiar names. So I'm sure a few eyebrows have been raised at the selection of Lucendo, who has only an amateur status and has come up from the Spanish second division. Barcelona hoping for their first Spanish title in 5 years. The last back in '85. Although their season did pick up with the success at the European Cup Winners' Cup, it was felt they were generally second best to Real Madrid for most of the campaign. Real, of course, winning the double with the League and Cup, and then promptly changed the coach. They didn't win the European Cup. That will be the prime target for Real Madrid this season. It's going to be a fascinating campaign again, though, with the likes of AC Milan, Inter Milan, of course, competing as well this time. AC Milan as defending champions, Inter Milan as the champions of Italy. A sturdy challenge, but a fair one, decides the referee, who was well placed. Roberto de Serna. Aloisio. Here's Lucendo. Didn't really seem to be going anywhere, though. Laudrup, even with his extraordinary pace, can't reach that one. So the Barcelona coach, Johan Cruyff, won't be too happy with what he's seen so far of his team. And they've not really extended Ravnic. Goal here for Valladolid, who lead by a goal to nil, 25 minutes into the first half. Roberto. Koeman winning the ball unfairly. Stein had continued his run into the middle, but now he was on his way back. The ball, though, headed out for a corner to Barcelona. Looking to raise their game after a pretty indifferent start. This is Stein. He'll take the corner then for Barcelona. Roberto, now Serna. Koeman. Useful ball. The Valladolid players down injured. Whistles from the crowd. The referee has spotted him, but he's allowing play to go on. Not sure how long he can continue to do so. Here's Koeman. The crowd becoming very agitated. Laudrup skipping one tackle. Another one comes in. And now the referee can the ball to play. Treatment. So a setback here for Valladolid. Generally, very satisfying start to their season. And the goal from Jakovic still has them leading by a goal to nil. And I think the referee is going to have a word with one or two of the officials, and in fact brandishing the yellow card towards entourage. I'm not quite sure which one he was issuing that yellow card to, but obviously he wasn't happy about some of the remarks being made. The officials presumably feeling that the referee should have halted play a little bit earlier with the player injured. But on we go now. was poor. But it's a goal kick to Valladolid. 18 victories in the Spanish League last season, 13 defeats and 7 draws, so they did tend to either win matches or lose most of them, one or the other, just the 7 draws. Barcelona drew 11 of their games, they lost 4, they won 23, and that was not enough to overhaul the champions Real Madrid. Elias, Yugoslav. Fonseca. And from Pena. It looked very positive at times, Valladolid. There's Damien wearing the number 11 shirt. Most of these players featured in the Cup final team. We're hoping for another consistent season. Quite an achievement for them to reach the Cup final, and they didn't play badly either against Real Madrid, just the 1 goal. That was scored early on in the game. Throw then to be taken by Milius, the Yugoslav international, away by Serna of Spain. Salinas down. Here's Laudrup finding Koeman. Again, Koeman hitting the early ball, but hitting it too long. They're going to have to get used to the strength of his passing. Can strike a ball such a long way, Koeman, but it was over the head then of Salinas and through for a goal kick to Valladolid, who lead Barcelona by 1-0 with just over half an hour gone in the first half. Marino. Then for Barca. Jankovic striding into the penalty area, and the shot, he just passed the post. In fact, Zubizarreta must have got a hand to it. So a corner to Valladolid, well worth their lead. Come off Koeman, another corner. Disjointed display from Barcelona in the first half. Johan Cruyff wore a worried look for much of last season, and he won't have lost that today yet. So another corner. Damien. Cross in, just wide. Barcelona at full stretch now to hold Valladolid. 1 goal down, it could easily have been more. Here's Serna. Brown rolling forward in anticipation. This time, free kick has been given. But against Barcelona. It's Fonseca with the free kick. up to their reputations thus far. And they're finding Valladolid every inch the difficult opponents we expected they would be. Aloisio. Here's Serna. Now then to Koeman. Aloisio. Valladolid with everybody back behind the ball. Quite happy here just to soak up a little bit of pressure if it should come in. Barcelona really will have to do better than this. It's been mainly a comfortable half so far for Ravnic, the Valladolid goalkeeper. And they're competing for everything, Valladolid, and they've certainly unsettled Barcelona. Here's Laudrup now, having to go all the way across field though. Valladolid with a lot of defenders back, defending the cross, and the header wide. Stain crossing in, and Roberto punching the header just wide. Stain. Here's Koeman. Again hitting the long ball, given away to Pena. Would have been on his way then if that one had succeeded in getting through. Here's Roberto. Now Stain. He has Salinas in the middle, and Roberto had gone through as well, as he often does on those well-timed runs from midfield. This has gone though for a free kick to Valladolid. Velasquez, the referee. The crowd hoping to lift their team towards another goal before half-time. Although they certainly won't be unhappy at the situation as it stands at the moment, leading Barcelona by 1-0. They have the Cup Winners' Cup campaign to look forward to as well. Valladolid will start against Cameron Spartans of Malta, so they hope to get through that one. Here's Serna. Now then to Koeman. Offside. Salinas. They really haven't functioned as a unit in the first half, Barcelona. It was rather unexpected and came to nothing anyway. But they have got the corner, which Stain will take. So there's hope for Barcelona before half-time. And a few harsh words to expect from Johan Cruyff. kick has been given for the foul on Laudrup. Plenty of Barcelona players waiting in the middle. Doesn't reach any of them though. Aloisio with the throw for Barcelona. As we approach half-time, Koeman, Lucindo, Koeman again from this position on the right-hand side, and he's picked out Salinas extremely well then. Salinas seemed to react rather slowly. Does appear to be rather clumsy at times, Salinas. Very effective striker nonetheless, but it's rather ungainly on occasions. A bit awkward. It's a good tackle then by Damien. Didn't agree. Referee waiting on Jankovic now. He's got Pena in the middle. It should be two. Or will be the foul Pena then? Still a chance. Zubizarreta saves. Zalbis with the shot, and Zubizarreta making a fine stop. Jankovic and Pena. Jankovic here. You see Pena just out of the picture. Coming into it now. If Jankovic had squared the ball across, that surely would have been a second goal. And then the reflex save by Zubizarreta. So drama right at the end of the first half, and Barcelona a little lucky to be only one goal down. Welcome back to the José Zorrilla Stadium, home of Valladolid. And the news, in case you're just joining us, that Barcelona are trailing by a goal to nil. And it could have been worse. They very nearly conceded a second one just before half-time. And I'm sure that Johan Cruyff, their coach, has had some harsh words to say to them. They'll certainly need to improve their performance if they're not to start the new season with a defeat. Aloisio for Barcelona, now kicking from right to left. And they really had very few moments themselves to trouble the Valladolid defence. Header from Roberto that flew wide. And thus far, the partnership up front of Laudrup and Salinas hasn't had a great deal of effect. Here's Laudrup now. Roberto was well forward. Foul off here. So an early free kick for Barcelona. Now without them Gary Lineker, who's gone back to England. They've also parted company with Romerito, who hasn't got himself fixed up with the club yet. Carrasco, the old Spanish international, he's gone to Sochaux in France. Migueli has retired. And Manolo Hierro has gone on loan to one of the promoted sides, Tenerife. He's the brother of Fernando Hierro from Valladolid, who's now gone to Real Madrid. Aloisio got to step up a gear in the second half. No two ways about that, Barcelona. Very disappointing so far. Elias. Valladolid reminding us they're no mean side. They looked very useful in the last campaign. And if today is any guide, well, that position of sixth was a fairly accurate reflection of the progress that they've been making. And they've continued it so far against Barcelona. Sana, Koeman, Rogendo's pass, here's Roberto, trying to wriggle free of defenders, Miguel-Stein, on the back, cross in, could have caused a problem or two. Valladolid have cleared the ball away, and Lucio, almost a lone figure in his own half. Koeman now taking over. Ball pass though from Koeman, still finding his feet in the Barcelona side, as is Michael Laudrup, the two expensive newcomers. To the side netting, but almost onto the bar. Ravenich had it well covered though. Julio Alberto with the throw for Barcelona. Looking a little brighter. Foul on Miguel-Stein. Miguel-Stein himself to take the free kick. The ball safely back with Laudrup lurking nearby. Away, Roberto, now to Koeman. Minguella. Good old pro Minguella, captain and number 10. There he is in the centre of the field. Actually began his career at Valladolid as a 14-year-old. Could be on now. Here's Salinas. All round run. Again waited just a fraction too long. And the chance disappeared. Salinas sending him on his way. But again, the defensive cover was good from Valladolid. Julio Alberto. Former Spanish international, of course, Julio Alberto, winning the last of his 34 caps last year. Had a lot of problems with injuries. Here's Koeman, very much a part of the current Dutch team, still striving for a place in the World Cup finals next year. What a tussle that's proving with West Germany. Laudrup, well, he set himself up for the shot. Couldn't hit the target. So much expected of Michael Laudrup. And of Koeman too, of course. I think it's fair to say that while Johan Cruyff may not have seen eye to eye with Gary Lineker, the other players that some of the crowd the ball. The referee just had to calm things down. Quiet word with Ronald Koeman. Koeman, who had so much success with PSV Eindhoven. 4 championship titles, 3 doubles, a European Cup winners medal, 2 of course in '88. And very much a part of the Dutch team that took the European title with so much style. So Vinguela with the free kick for Valladolid. Mauricio. Quick thinking. Dreadful mistake then, and that could have proved so costly. Barcelona, well, they're still in the game, but only just. Koeman couldn't find Salinas. Vinguela, captain's influence in midfield, leading by example. He's onside. I wonder if Valladolid are going to regret that missed chance. Aloisio for Barcelona. One down, it should have been two. Julio Alberto, it was his mistake at the back. Salinas battling. Moreno. To Koeman. Ravage right behind the shot. Aloisio. Moves out of play. There's no fluency to Barcelona's play at all. Very dispiriting for their fans. Excited by the signings of Koeman and Laudrup. Vinguela. So far, the two new men not really making much of an impact. Be given time to settle in a new environment, new teammates. Of course, with so much on their shoulders. Abis with the pass. Abis Beakachia to give him his full name. Jorgan Homadi is a Basque. Here's Laudrup for Barcelona. To take everybody on. Walk down. Free kick to Barcelona. Laudrup was ploughing a lone furrow though. We're going to see now a substitution. And on comes Sole. Lucindo, it was who went off. posting the free kick into the wall. Sole. Barcelona hoping that he can produce some of his looping runs. Here's Salinas now. Chances to increase that advantage, which they haven't taken. Lemos. Referee waving the play on. Minguela. Himself now, but no doubt at all that the tackle was not as bad as it was made to look. It's so sad when you see players apparently endeavouring to get an opponent a caution. Anyway, free kick. That's in favour of Valladolid. That almost squeezed in. Corner. They're asking more questions of the Barcelona defence. So far, they've not been answering them too well. Taking a lot of steps. Sole's pass to Aloisio. Koeman. Serna was struggling for pace then. Aloisio with the tackle. Driven over the bar. Still plenty of attacking promise from Valladolid. Here's Aloisio. Julio Alberto for Barcelona, who hadn't hit anything like their best form in this game. Koeman. Atmosphere in the stadium, and the home fans delighted with the way the match is going at this stage. Approaching 20 minutes of the second half played. As Sole came on in the Cup Winners' Cup final, I remember. He can be dangerous with those surging runs of his. Reminds me of the old Liverpool player, Steve Highway, who's similar in style. Pena. Done well here. The charge is on. Oh, and Jankovic. There again, that theatrical roll, which is not going to convince anybody. He was fouled anyway. Look at this. Over once, twice, and into the penalty area. Perhaps he's hoping for a penalty. The foul took place, I think, about 10 yards outside, and that's where he has ended up. Suffice to say, he will not be receiving a penalty, and the referee ushering him to his feet, and quite rightly so. Jankovic, who's been a constant thorn in Barcelona's flesh, nonetheless was play acting then. Certainly a foul. But the damage not as serious as Jankovic surely is suggesting. Some more defending then for Barcelona. Zubizarreta, perfect judgment. And sending Solé on his way. Fouled by Pena. Solé anxious to keep things moving. Barcelona still lacking cohesion. The free kick awarded to them, is it? Or yes, direct free kick. So an opportunity again to see the striking power of Koeman. If he chooses to show his power from the free kick. No, a variation this time. Oh, rather sloppy though. Cerna. Well, at least he got a shot in on goal. Saved by Radnic. Free kick had already been given. Minguela. Don't think he'll be lining up a shot from here. Curling it in instead, and the header was a bit wayward too, a defensive header. Flag was up though for an infringement. Free kick to Barcelona, a goal down. I'm not showing all that many signs really that they're going to find an equaliser, but here is Koeman. Laudrup. Simply too many defenders for him in the end. Some neat footwork from Laudrup. The combination with Salinas isn't really taken off yet. Lucio in above Pena. Albis. Good ball through, and the second goal, is it? Yes, from Damien. And that surely has ended Barcelona's hopes of a comeback, unless there's a dramatic revival. Defenders looking aghast at each other. Damien tucking it away delightfully. And it's 2-0 to Valladolid. To score on many occasions. Now they've added to the first half lead. The goal from Jankovic on 17 minutes, and now from Damien. What a turn-up in the opening fixture of the new season. Barcelona are in serious trouble. They've been playing, it's turn this one around. They really have been so disappointing. Full credit to Valladolid, who carried on from last season. Two goalless draws, remember, with Barcelona, and they've improved on that now. Every chance that they'll go on to collect 2 points from this game. With the second goal, and a very promising first full season. It looks as if it's going to be another fruitful one for him. Very cool piece of finishing. And even a goalkeeper of Zubizarreta's class couldn't prevent him from scoring. Jubilation among the fans. The Valladolid supporters, that is. Around 15,000 of them in the ground. And they're elated at their team's showing. Aloisio. Can Barcelona come back? Really not playing with any conviction at all. Again. He hasn't got one through so far to test Ravnic in the Valladolid goal. The referee wants that wall further back. I wouldn't fancy standing in it with Koeman about to drive the ball in. Got through this time, but over the bar. Another explosive shot from Ronald Koeman. But he hasn't quite got his sights yet. Happy scenes among the home support. They don't want to give the ball back. So the referee will continue with another one. No, I think they've returned that one now. So on we go. Valladolid have taken charge of this game. Now here is the other ball. Order is at last restored. Ravnic taking the goal kick for Valladolid. Two goals up against Barcelona. Cracking start for Valladolid. Here's Pena, could have had a goal or two himself. Fonseca, who's battled away competitively in midfield. Solé to Koeman. The first time ball. Oh, he nearly picked up Roberto. One of the Valladolid players went down then. Collision with Julio Alberto. I don't think there was any ill intent involved. Roberto, Begiristain. They need a goal urgently now, Barcelona. Here's Solé. Eusebio. Looks as if he may be brought on now. Eusebio, who's featured in the Spanish national team of late. Salinas is going off. Eusebio is coming on. So they've taken off their leading goal scorer from last season and reception that Eusebio is getting. He's a very popular figure. And there was certainly some surprise that he wasn't in the starting lineup. Johan Cruyff punting instead for Lucendo, whom very little was known. De Geerestein. Just tipped over the bar. Laudrup, anxious for the corner to be taken quickly. Berto, I think, with the header. Talking of team selections, Johan Cruyff does seem to favour the odd controversial one. He insisted on playing Gary Lineker down the right wing when Lineker himself was far happier down the middle. And all this rather sums up Barcelona's performance. Bit of a muddle. Koeman's long ball in. Geerestein can't get there. Valladolid, very happy with the way things stand, leading 2-0. I don't think we'll see them committing too many players forward now. See there, just about everybody now camped in Valladolid's half. But there's no real menace about Barcelona. Eusebio. The referee says it's a foul. Free kick to Valladolid. He played with a lot of purpose. With Albi's tigerish little midfield player. And Eusebio, well, he certainly pushed him aside. Looks now as if we're heading for the first upset of the season. Barcelona beginning with so much promise. The arrival of Koeman and Laudrup. But it's an awful start. Less than a quarter of an hour to put things right. Milias with the throw. Jakovic, the offender. Julio Alberto taking the free kick to Aloisio. Mia. Here's Laudrup. Got away from one defender, but not from the other. There's Lemos sticking to his task. And they've kept pretty tight rein on Laudrup. Just once or twice he's threatened to weave a path to goal. Eusebio knocking it back. And the chance ends with the shot going wide. Ravnic not called upon to make a save. Once more, some rather foolish people behind the goal refusing to give the ball back. Now they have. As Geerestein receives another one down below us there, but they'll persevere with the original ball. Barcelona might have fancied a change anyway. This one's not brought them much luck so far. Eusebio. The referee indicating that he's allowing the advantage. Taken up by Solé. It's quickly closed down by Pena. Julio Alberto to Aloisio. Mia. Cerner had gone through the middle. Roberto was in there too. Push Koeman further forward. But will there now be gaps at the back for Valladolid to exploit? Reina. Minguela. Into the side netting. Zareta down at the near post. And Soleil sets off now then for Barcelona as we look again there at the shot. Koeman adding his weight to the attacks. This is Soleil, the substitute. One of them anyway. Eusebio is the other. Here's Begiristain. Tempting cross in. Shot from Koeman. Well saved by Radnic. Down goes Milius. And you can see the referee there wanting Milius to continue, because you have to say these Yugoslavs do like a tumble, and Milius and earlier on a couple of occasions Jankovic thrown themselves to the ground on being tackled. There's the shot from Koeman, beaten away though by Radnic, who was in exactly the right place, got his angles perfectly right. Time is beginning to run out now then for Barcelona. From satisfying performance from them. Well, we'll give Milius the benefit of the doubt. He does appear to be injured, but he went down as if a 10-ton truck had hit him. Free kick to Valladolid. They lead Barcelona by 2-0. Into the last 10 minutes. Mia for Barcelona. Really has been a struggle for them. It's Cerner pulling the cross back. He's found Begiristain. Down he goes. Appeal for penalty, nothing given. Valladolid survive. Hopeful then, the appeal from Begiristain, an international winger. We haven't seen much of his class, and he is a player of true quality. But like so many of the Barcelona players, he's just looked a bit below par in a jaded performance from last season's runners-up. Soleil. Begiristain. Plenty of time for Lemos. At least there was originally. Rather a mess of that. But this is not Barcelona's day. Only a few minutes then to go. Drums are beating loudly, and the home fans are looking forward to a victory on the opening day of the season. Eusebio, Laudrup, Mia, now Koeman, well advanced. And their shooting hasn't been accurate enough. Radnic wasn't too happy about the defending in front of him. Looks now like being a disastrous beginning to the season for Barcelona. Here's Soleil. Soleil again. This time, Serna slips at the vital moment. They've thrown Serna forward. They push Koeman up too, and Roberto having taken off Salinas. Again, it's an untidy clash. As the referee decided, it's going to be a caution. Julio Alberto, that's his name taken now. It's a free kick to Valladolid. They're going to make a substitution. Coming off now. To be replaced by Moya. Now just listen to the response from the crowd. Moya, one of the young players, bringing on. He has only a few minutes to make any impression. The same applies to Barcelona. They have to overcome a 2-goal deficit. Lounder up now. Didn't seem to be too much unison among the Barcelona players either a few moments ago, and saw Koeman looking rather disgruntled by some of the defensive play of his colleagues. Here's Koeman now. Stain. Soleil, Mia. Another yellow card for Mia this time. So the referee has had a busy night with the cautions and yellow cards. Here's the latest. That is not in the rules. Decision, in fact, a throw to Barcelona, taken by Soleil. Julio Alberto. Valladolid packing their defence now, allowing Barcelona to come at them. I think they feel they have their measure, and you can't really argue with that. Julio Alberto. Koeman's pass. Lounder up. They know how near the team are to victory. The famous victory at the B2. Soleil. There's no way through for him. Out of play. Valladolid. Valladolid have a throw in. It'll waste a few more seconds, and it's all over. A marvellous start for Valladolid. What an unhappy night for Barcelona. 2 goals, 1 in each half, have settled this first game of the new season. Jankovic after 17 minutes, and then Damian in the second half. Barcelona with a very disappointing performance and some dejected faces among their players, and no surprise. They were a long way short of looking a championship side. Early days yet, of course, a long way to go. But Valladolid, for them, well, it's a dream opening. They've beaten Barcelona by 2-0. That's the situation then here in the Jose Zorrilla Stadium. For news of